as a backup. And then we will let Todd Stewart make an opening statement, followed by Coach Helton, and then we'll open it up for questions from there. Todd, go ahead.
Thank you, Scott, and thank you for everybody joining us. First of all, just congratulations to our players, Coach Helton and his staff. One of our goals every year is make a bowl game. And, while a lot of teams make a bowl game each year, not very many do it year after year. And I think the consistent success of this program is what I'm most proud of. And all 5 years under Tyson, we've now been to a bowl game. And, I don't ever want us to take that for granted because right now, of the 133 FBS programs in the country, only 16 have made a bowl game each of the last 5 seasons. So that's a pretty small list. And I certainly remember the days from 2008 to 2010 when we went 2-10, 0-12, and 2-10, and actually had a 26-game losing streak at one time in 2010. So now to go to a bowl game in 10 of 12 years, as a level of consistent success not seen by most programs in the country, and to literally go from probably the worst program in the country in 2010 to now one of only 16 to make a bowl game 5 straight years is something we're very proud of.
Yeah, to follow up with what Todd said, just very part of this bowl game in Charlotte and play a very good Old Dominion team. I know our players will be excited to go out there and compete. We take a lot of pride in, not only going to bowl games, but trying to win bowl games. And so our minds will now turn to trying to go win this game. That we're going to face a very, very good opponent, one that we're familiar with. And it should be a great competition between two good teams. And we're really looking forward to going to Charlotte. Charlotte is a very good town, good place to have a bowl game. And it's not only a celebration and rewarding to our players, but it gives them an opportunity to experience new things. And we like the fact that we've had opportunities every year since we've been here to go to different places and be a part of good bowl games. And I'm sure this one will be no different. So very, very, very happy to be in this bowl game and to play a great opponent in Old Dominion.
If you can use the raise your hand function, I'll go ahead and take questions for Coach or Todd. Maxwell, go ahead with the first question.
All right, this is for both Todd and Coach. Just guys, bowl game set up. You're facing off against a former Conference USA opponent. Can you tell us a little bit about maybe having some familiarity and first time that you guys are going to be facing off against a former conference opponent in a big bowl game like this.
I'll let Tyson handle the football X and O's aspect of that. Just for me personally, yeah, obviously it's a program and a university that we're familiar with as former members of Conference USA, and their athletic director Wood Seelig actually hired me here back in 2008, and I worked directly with Wood the first 2 years that I was here, and we've become very good friends. But if he doesn't bring me here in 2008, then I'm certainly not here on this call today. So it'll be kind of neat to have it come full circle and meet up in a bowl game.
Yeah, for me, I'm just now diving into them. Finding out here shortly that they're the team we're playing. I have been able to get familiar with them just throughout the season, and we have some common opponents and some different things. And one thing that stands out to me is they're a team on the rise. To back-to-back wins to get bowl eligible says a lot about their team. I think back to when we played them, they were always a very physical football team, a big, talented football team. And I think they're a team that's on the rise. So we're going to have to play our best game. And, I think for us, it's really just comes down to, the matchups and making explosive plays and taking care of the football. But one thing that stands out to me just diving into them and watching them throughout the season is that they are a team on the rise and they have a lot of momentum right now.
Other questions for Todd or Coach? If you can't raise your hand, go ahead and jump in and just ask.
Coach, you kind of talked about it a little bit, but obviously 5 bowl games in the 5 years that you've been here, every single bowl game has been different at a different location, playing different people. How exciting is that for you as a coach, the team, and especially the fans who travel to these bowl games, that each year they're going to a different location and getting to explore different places?
Yeah, I think it's really big, and Ty can probably get into more detail about that. But we just enjoy the fact it's a different location, it's a different opponent. I think it's great for our fans, that they get opportunities to travel to different places. And Charlotte's a good town. I've been there a lot. I've actually done another bowl game in Charlotte before several years ago. Had a great experience. So it's something we really, really look forward to, and I think it's going to be a good bowl game for us.
Yeah, I guess the only thing I would add is, anytime you make the postseason play, you have more eyeballs on you because of the exclusivity of that. And the day of this game, it's on ESPN, and it's literally the only bowl game that day. So obviously you have the national television aspect of the game when it's occurring, but then we'll have highlights the rest of the afternoon and in the evening. So there'll be a tremendous exposure aspect of this game.
Another question for you, Tyson. Just another thing about it is, like I said, a former Conference USA opponent, but you're also playing in a former Conference USA opponent's stadium that played in before. Does that help you guys out a little bit? I know ODU is also pretty familiar with it as well.
I think for both of us, it's probably the familiarity, kind of, the lay of the land, and the routine, where the locker room is, where you're going to warm up at, the amount of space you have. So yeah, it makes it, every game as you get closer to game time, the worst part of my week is the 2 hours before kickoff, just because you don't have anything to do other than wait around and think about all the what ifs. So I got a good spot already picked out in my mind where I'll find a chair in the locker room. I know where that spot is, and get my thoughts together. So yeah, familiarity is an important thing. Again, coming back to Old Dominion, there's so much respect there for them and what they've done here this season. So I think it's a great matchup. I really do. I think it's an even matchup. And I think it comes down to probably, like I always say, a 4-quarter game, and you want that in bowl games. You want to have good matchups, and I think we'll get that with this particular one.
Any other questions for Todd or Coach Helton?
Coach, with bowl games, comes down to the very end of the year. A lot of guys, this point in the year, they either decide that they're going to stay, transfer, or potentially go into the draft. Is there any update on any of the guys who potentially might not be playing in the game?
No, not right now. I think it's too early. And I don't want to speak out of turn, but every year you're going to always have one or two guys that decide that it's best for them not to play. One thing I'm very proud of our players, and I'll say this again, they enjoy going to the bowl. They enjoy competing in the bowl. It means something for us. It's just not another game. So, and we've had guys that weren't able to play in the game for multiple reasons before. But it's always for the right reasons. I don't ever, there's never a scenario where you're like, I don't understand that, So it's too early for us. I do think we'll have to look at who's healthy and who can participate and all those things. But that's every football team right now. As far as the portal goes, I think we've always done a good job of managing that. There'll be guys that get in the portal that'll play in this game, and some will stay and some will go. They got to go through the process. We're pretty transparent about all those things. Everybody's very open and honest about the process. So it's all to be expected. But the overall, to answer your question, I think only time will tell as we get closer to the game.
And then one question for you, Todd. Obviously, talking about the importance of post-game play and having these bowl games and stuff like that. If you want to touch on volleyball just a little bit, I know that you were down there in Knoxville like being there with them as they made their another NCAA tournament appearance and a run in there, and then falling short, obviously, to Tennessee. Just if you want to recap that for us a little bit.
Yeah, Lauren. I mean, like I said, I'm very proud of football for making a bowl game 5 straight years because I know how competitive that is, and only 16 programs have done that. In volleyball now, this will be 5 straight years for them to both win an NCAA tournament match and finish the season in the top 25. And there's only 12 programs in the nation out of 344 that can say that. So, there's just some really special things going on. And I guess the way I feel, I've said this before, if you expand all this out, I think if a consultant came in and reviewed the last decade, through the present, through right now, I'm confident they'd conclude that we are one of the best success stories in collegiate athletics. And I say that because of the challenging landscape that everybody finds themselves in, our budget in comparison to the people that we compete against, and the success we've had. And when we win, a lot of people win. Athletic success results in millions of dollars of exposure to WKU and to Bowling Green, Kentucky. So tremendous credit really to our coaches and our athletes for the success that they have, the first-class manner and how they represent WKU, and for elevating so many others through their success.
All good on questions? Appreciate everybody hopping on. Todd, thank you. Coach Helton, thank you. Congratulations again. And we'll send out audio and video here shortly. Appreciate it and hope to see a few of you at basketball.